is Michael Prue, Member of Provincial Parliament for the riding of Beaches East York and a leadership candidate for the NDP.
Talk to me a little bit about Made in Ontario.
We need to develop a Made in Ontario strategy. We need to develop a policy that will encourage industry and workers and unions within the province of Ontario to produce the goods and services we need. Certainly the Canadian Auto Workers has a Made in Canada Matters policy, and I think they're spot on in what they're trying to say. I certainly know that when I was a mayor, there was a broad policy across the province and across every municipality that we would, whenever possible, try to hire locally, try to buy goods locally. And when I was mayor in East York, we had our policy was open and flexible to the point that if any local person or any local company was bidding on a contract for goods or services and was within 10% of the lowest bid, that we could award it to them. And we felt that this was necessary in order to encourage people who paid taxes, who lived in our community, to have good jobs. Excuse me. To have people have good jobs. And I would like to see a similar policy adopted throughout all of Ontario, but particularly by the province and by the municipalities, universities, schools, and hospitals. This would go a long way to ensuring that those services that we use, those goods that we purchase, are made right here and keep people in Ontario employed. Well, it is important, and it will be necessary for the Government of Ontario and as well the federal government and municipal governments to directly invest in enterprise in Ontario. We know that many of our industries are facing tough times. Perhaps the one that is most current and on the minds of people is the automotive sector, the Detroit Three, who have come forward in the United States looking for billions of dollars in buyouts, but they've also come to Ontario looking for billions of dollars to restructure. I have no objection and understand that we are going to have to invest in that in the automobile sector. 1 in 6 jobs in Ontario is either directly or indirectly part of that sector, and if we are to lose it, it will be economic and social chaos will result in Ontario. So we have to invest. But having said that, and having signaled my willingness to invest, I would do so under conditions. My conditions is that there has to be equity, that the people of Ontario have to get something out of this deal if we are going to invest $4 billion in taxpayers' money. And what I am asking is that the unions from the outset be involved in the restructuring process, and that we as the province of Ontario get some security against the $4 billion. And I am asking for 2 things. The first is that we have a seat on the board of directors. And I think secondly, and just as importantly, is that we have shares in the company. So that when we have a seat on the board of directors and when we have shares in the company, we can have a say on the product line to make sure that we're building bigger automobiles. We can have a say on the pensions of the workers to make sure that they are protected, and that we can have a say on how the company is restructured to make sure that our money is safeguarded at all times. In the end, when and if the auto sector becomes profitable again, we will have shares to sell back on the general market, having accomplished what we needed to accomplish and at a profit to the people of Ontario. We cannot simply go in there and hand $4 billion and get nothing in return. McGuinty government has already done that and saw that the product line for hybrid trucks was developed in Ontario, but then the production facility was sent holus bolus to Mexico. I'm not willing to go there, and I don't think New Democrats or the general public are either. This has been very much in the news over the last number of months, where municipalities and institutions are coming forward and saying, we are shovel ready. If we only had the money, we could do some wonderful things to upgrade the infrastructure in our facilities, in our cities, and our regions. And I think that this is money that is very well spent, and that we as New Democrats need to seize upon this opportunity to build the kind of infrastructure that has been sadly lacking, whether that is the repair of roads and bridges and sewers, whether that is new transit systems, that we can utilize across the GTA or in much of Ontario, in Ottawa and Hamilton and other places, whether it's putting subway builders and workers back to work in Thunder Bay who make the cars. All of that is eminently doable. And it should be done. It's something that cries out for action. At the same time, there's a whole list of smaller projects which will be very environmentally friendly. Putting green roofs on institutions, hot water heating on senior care facilities, energy efficient doors and windows on some of our older buildings and public institutions. All of these will pay dividends down the road. There is an opportunity here for us to invest when it is easier to invest for people back to work that will pay dividends for years to come. And I think we as New Democrats need to be at the forefront of this change at perhaps not the most exciting of times, but at a time that gives us an opportunity to reach out and do what has been neglected for so long. Pensions in Ontario, everyone should reach out and realize the importance of pensions. Unfortunately, many Ontarians do not have access to a pension. And although the only pension they will have access, of course, is if they pay into the Canada Pension Plan at the age of 60 or 65. But what we as New Democrats believe is important is to have a portable pension that goes from location to location. People who used to sign on in a factory and work there for 40 or 50 years, those are days of the past. It doesn't happen anymore. People have jobs for 3, 4, 5 years, go on to another job, and the pension needs to be able to move with them. This was a plan way back in the 1940s in Ontario. It was never seized upon or never acted upon, but it is an idea whose time has come around again. That we need to take a pension plan and make it portable, make sure that people pay into that plan, and in the end have that plan move with them, so that if a person works in 4 or 5 or 6 locations over his or her working career, that pension goes with them and is payable to them in the end. It is an idea which I feel very strongly, and I believe an idea whose time has come. With pensions, the Canada Pension Plan and others being in some kind of turmoil today and difficulty, it's more important than ever to have a government-administered program that allows people the flexibility of moving from one job to another, never having to worry about what's going to happen to them when they retire.